Good morning, boys and girls. It's Miss Morton. We are going to continue to learn about bears. Yesterday we read a fiction book, which is a made-up story about bears, and today we're going to read another made-up story. It's called Good Job Bear. It's by Carrie Weston and Tim Warnes. It says, little campers need a really big friend. I wonder if that's a clue. I want you to sit and make a prediction. Let's look at the picture one more time. What do you think is going to happen in our story? Here's a bear. He's got binoculars on. There's a little mouse. There's 3 little mice. A map. A whistle. Let's read and find out, and we'll see if any of your predictions were correct. Oh, there he is walking. He's got a net. The day that Miss Cluck was taking the class camping, everyone was very excited. When Miss Cluck said that it was almost time to set off, the animal squealed with delight. There's his class. There's a little bull going, yippee! And the bear's back there with his binoculars. Look, they labeled their tree and what the tree needs. I don't know if they're in the right spot. Is that a root? No, it's not. Letitia the rabbit carried her butterfly net. Maxwell the mole clutched his teddy. The little mice each had a basket, and Fergus the fox cub was given the map. And Boris was put in charge of... Alright, so we learned their names. Here's Letitia, Maxwell, Little Mice, Fergus, and this big bear is Boris. And this is Miss Cluck. He was put in charge of absolutely everything else. For Boris, wasn't it? Enormous, hairy, scary grizzly bear. But he was also rather kind and helpful. Bravo, said Miss Cluck as Boris heaved the huge bag on his back. What would we do without you? Look at Boris carrying that big bag. Miss Cluck and her class set off through the woods. Letitia chased after butterflies. Fergus puzzled over the map. Maxwell got Teddy stuck up in a tree. And the mice struggled with their baskets. Eventually Boris caught up with them all. Poor Miss Cluck blew her whistle. This really won't do, she said. We must stay together. But we're tired, said the little mice. Then Boris had an idea. He found room for everything in his bag, even the tired mice. Bravo, Boris, cheered his friends. Before long, they came to a little bridge. Boris and Letitia dropped twigs into the stream. Then everyone rushed to the other side of the bridge to see who would come out first. Come on, Boris. Let's go, Letitia. But somehow, Boris forgot about the bag on his back. Somehow, Maxwell's teddy went splash into the water. Somehow, the mice managed to cling on. Maxwell let out an enormous wail. Oh, Boris! He cried. Poor Boris felt so clumsy and ashamed. Miss Cluck carefully leaned over the bridge with Letitia's butterfly net, but it was no good. Teddy was floating away. Boris decided it was time to be brave. He leapt into the water. Splash! All the way up to his hairy knees. Hurry, Boris! Boris scooped Teddy safely out of the water. Now there were 2 dripping wet bears. Teddy! And Maxwell hugged them both. Boris is the biggest, bravest, best bear, said Maxwell. Bravo, Boris. Bravo, Boris, agreed Miss Cluck. Now let's set up camp before there are any more accidents. Look, he looks pretty proud of himself, doesn't he? The animals gathered around while Miss Cluck explained how to build a teepee. It all sounded very easy. Letitia and Maxwell collected long sticks. The mice chewed off some lengths of rope, and Boris helped Fergus spread out the canvas. Then they all tried to put it together, but it was not easy. Not easy at all. Once the teepee was up and the fun really began, Miss Cluck got out a new box of chalk and let everyone draw on the teepee. Camp Cluck. It looked wonderful. Boris put Maxwell on top to dry. And off they went to pick berries for supper. Miss Cluck showed them which ones were good to eat. Boris carried the full basket while the other animals hurried excitedly back to camp. But they were in for a shock. For their wonderful teepee wasn't quite so wonderful anymore. Someone had drawn on Miss Cluck's face, someone had pulled down all the sticks, and someone was going to be in big trouble. Miss Cluck was very, very angry indeed. She marched straight up to the bulging canvas, reached underneath, and pulled out 2 very naughty little wolf cubs. The cubs wriggled and struggled. "Do your parents know you're out in the woods alone?" asked Miss Cluck in her firmest voice. "We don't care," yelled one of the cubs rudely. "Our daddy is a big bad wolf." "Grrr!" "He's much bigger than you," said the other even more rudely, "and he eats chickens for supper!" boomed Boris with a great big berry-stained grin. "Yikes! It's a grizzly bear! Help! It's a hungry bear!" "Phew! It's Boris Bear," said Miss Cluck. The naughty little wolf cubs turned on their heels and fled. Boris was most confused. "Oh, Boris, what a brave bear you are," smiled Miss Cluck. "Now let's get the teepee put together." Bravo for hairy, scary Boris. That evening, Boris and his friends ate a supper of toasted marshmallows and berries until the sun went down. Then Miss Cluck got out her guitar and they sang songs under the stars. Boris felt his eyelids grow heavy. It was tiring being a big, brave bear. "I think I might go to bed now," he yawned. "Sleep tight. Night-night." "Good night, Boris." Boris snuggled down happily inside the teepee and was soon snoring. A little later, Ferguson, then Letitia, Maxwell with Teddy, the mice, and Miss Cluck crept into the teepee. There wasn't much room, but nobody minded a bit. After all, everyone had a nice, soft place to sleep. Look at them all. Even Miss Cluck. "Bravo, Boris," she whispered as she fell asleep. All right, the end. Did your predictions come true? What did you predict they were going to do? Go camping? Yeah, that was a good prediction. That came true. They had some trouble along the way, but they did go camping. All right. Thank you.